So as per day 8 of Navaratri, the celebrations here usually entail couples getting married. So today, we actually have 12 couples getting married today. 12 wonderful couples. And before we start, I thought it would be nice to just go around. I'd ask one person from each couple just to introduce themselves by just saying what their name is and which country they're from, just so that we get to know who they are. Very quickly, okay?
Sita Dasi, Romania.
Sita Dasi, Romania.
Sita Dasi, Romania.
Sita Dasi, Italy.
Devaki Dasi, Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Chandrakanti Gopi, Germany.
Loka Bandudas, Germany.
Gaurangi Devi Dasi, Germany.
Radea Das, Germany.
Ramana Dasi, Albania.
Anaka Das, Albania.
Sita Dasi, Portugal.
Padma Das, Portugal.
Loganayaki Dasi, Germany.
Data Das, Brazil.
Champakalata, Germany. Krishna, France.
Vibrajamana Dasi, Romania.
Akshara Das, Romania.
Vrindavana Ishvarai Dasi, Romania.
Badrinath Das, Romania.
Savitri Dasi, Ukraine.
Staviro Dhruva Das, United States.
United States. All right. And this also signifies that all of these couples are off the market, okay? So if you had any eyes for them, they're off the market. So today we will start the ceremonies by the couples first wearing the garland, and then we will do the sankalpa, which is an offering or an intention of the prayer and the beginning of the ceremony. So if everyone is ready, I'll look at Swami Keshava, who's going to be reciting all the mantras today, to begin.
So you just hold the flower and the rice, yeah? You have? Okay. Om Vishnu Vishnu Vishnu. Repeat. Om Namah Paramatmane Shri Purana Purushottamasya Vishnu Ragyaya Paratamanasya Adhya Brahmano Dhidhya Varidhe Shri Sweta Varakalpe Vevasvara Manvantare Ashtavegum Saitame Kali Yoge Kali Brahmacharne Vikramachage Bhodavatare Vartamane Yatanam Samvatsare Dve Sahasra Dvadimshade Amokayne Mahamangalya Prademasana Sotame Muke Mase Amuka Pakshe Amuka Tido Amuka Vasare Nivitayam Amuka Rishishire Surya Amuka Rishishiteshu Chandra Bhauma Buru Guru Shukra Shanishu Satsu Amuka Nama Yoge Amukarne Eva Gum Visheshena Vishishtayam Pune Tido Sakala Shastra Shruti Smriti Puranoktapala Prapti Kama Amuka Gotrorpano Amuka Nama Sama Mamatmana Sabatnika Bandavasya Grahakrita Sarva Kridhi Pita Nivrta Purga Nirudya Dvirda Pushtiran Dhanya Samirdhyartam Amuke Deshe Germany Springen Shepi Tani Layastane Tanirvignasam Siddhyartam Shri Maha Gauri Devi Pujam Amuka Nama Amuke Gotra Brahmane Twara Shri Bharadvoja Gotra. All say your name? On the couples, not you guys. Karishe Tatra Jhonik Dada Siddhe Ambo Kayo Pujanam Karishe. So you can put it in close to the yagna on the floor, on the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, so for the next part of the ceremony, you'll be exchanging garlands. But before that, there's a little dance, okay? And you have to woo each other, court each other. We want to see some Sega hips, you know, Guruji style. All right? And then, when its time is ready, you can exchange garlands, okay? Sorry?
We tell who is first, who puts the
garland. Okay. So, while you're both dancing, looking into each other's eyes, getting each other ready. The bride will first, as she has the preference, will put the garland on the groom. When you're ready. So the flowers in the garlands, they signify goodwill and the virtues of the person holding the garland, which are being exchanged with the partner. During the process, you should conceptualize this act that you're taking a vow to make up for the shortcomings of the other person. Okay, so ladies, you can start garlanding your groom. And now, for the males, you can now garland your bride. Oh, you've got some dancers. So, the one part about being harmonious together, right? This is a very important part of marriage, making up for each other's shortcomings, and focusing your marriage on Guruji, focusing your marriage on the spiritual path. Actually, a couple of days ago, when Guruji spoke about Katyayani Devi, he gave a little hint about the success of marriage. The success of marriage, as it is on the spiritual life, was something that the gopis knew. And they knew that as part of their journey towards Krishna, even though they were in a relationship together, they had to remove their selfishness. Because selfishness, self-absorption, means that you're thinking about yourself. And so marriage is the first beginning of thinking about each other, thinking about your family, thinking about something bigger. And so, with that, let's focus ourselves on the fact that this is not just a marriage of a husband and a wife, but a marriage with Maha Gauri present, with Guruji present, okay? And that is the focus that we should have. Now, we move on to the next part of the marriage ceremony, which is the Granthi Bandhana, which is the tying of the nuptial knot. So in this knot, there are 5 different items, and each item represents something. So as they're going around, I'll quickly explain what these items are. There's a coin, a flower, dhruva, which is green grass, turmeric, and rice grain. So the coin, it represents that the couple should have exclusive personal proprietary rights in financial matters, and that they will both earn their income together, support each other. The second, which is dhruva, which is the grass, symbolizes an everlasting active life full of love. As grass never loses its biological characteristics of growth, as dry grass, if you sprinkle water on it, it comes back to life. In the same way, when you guys are feeling a bit dry, you can always turn on some kirtan, you can always turn on some satsangs of Guruji and bring back your focus. And then we have turmeric, which symbolizes health. Let each spouse constantly endeavor in improving the physical and mental health of each other. And then we have the rice in the knot, which represents the couple and their multiple responsibilities towards the various groups of people that they are now joining together in, as the groom's wife, the groom's extended family and the bride's extended family will now become one big family. And then with that, we also take on the responsibility of a mutually harmonious relationship where both of you are working together in this march towards your spiritual life and society.
So the helper guys, they can take some turmeric rice and throw it on the knot. Om samanjantu vishvedeva samaporirayani sammatarishva samdhata samuddeshtri dadatu no.
So the next part is actually a very important part of the ceremony where you will exchange your oaths. So I will explain the oaths of the groom side, and then we have Rena. She can come up. She will also say the oaths from the bride's perspective, okay? And actually this year, we slightly rewrote it a little bit so that we can give focus to the actual spiritual path that you're going to be endeavoring on as devotees of Guruji, okay? Okay, so after I say each of the oaths, I'll ask Swami Keshava to also say the verse in Sanskrit. From this moment, declaring the bride as my better half. So if all the males can say I shall, and then I'll read, okay? So I shall. From this moment, declaring the bride as my better half and amalgamating my personality with that of my wife, I am creating a new living entity, one that we will strive to put in service to Guruji. I shall take as much care of my wife as I do parts of my own body.
Dharma patni militvaiva hekam jivanamovaya adhyarbhya jato me tvam ardhanganiti goshita.
I shall. I am happily handing over the significant authority for financial management of my household to my wife. Promise to consider her views and suggestions in all of life significant. Together, we will manage household finances and contribute to the sustenance and growth of Guruji's mission. That means your platinum Visa cards, American Express cards, guys, your bank accounts. You already said it, you know, this is the best part of this, because after you say it, it's too late.
Svikaromi sukintvam rila lakshmi mahantata manatrayi tva vidhashyami sukaryami tvaishaha.
Okay, I shall. Not develop or nurture any aversion towards my wife or account of conditions related to her appearance, beauty, health, natural traits, disease or mistakes due to her ignorance, nor shall I express discontentment in this context. I shall also maintain a cordial relationship with her by either patiently and lovingly making attempts for improvement in any shortcomings in her or make adjustments otherwise. Basically, she's always right, guys. Okay?
Rupa swasya bhanto guna dhoshani sarvata rogagyan vikaraschata va vishmitya chetasa.
Right. Remember, you already said I shall. So all of this stuff, she's recording this. It's all live streamed. She's going to come back to this. Okay. So I shall. always be a close friend of my wife and also show maximum possible affection to her. I shall follow this pledge faithfully in letter and spirit. Through this friendship, I will do whatever is possible to support her spiritual growth. So, this is also actually on an important note, something Guruji speaks a lot about. I was just quickly trying to reference a few of Guruji's talks. And it was actually last year, February 13th, in Mauritius, when somebody asked Guruji, what is the importance of a marriage? And he said the most important part of a marriage is friendship. In fact, this is one of the highest relationships you can have because there is no expectation. So, hopefully you all remember that. That is what brought you together. Today is your friendship, right? It wasn't the attachment to each other. It wasn't the fact that one person had more money or looked good. It is your friendship, okay? And this is a very important part to remember.
Sahacharo bhavishyami punasneha pratete satyatamam nishtayaccha yascha yadharam bhavishyati.
I shall. Strictly follow the codes of behavior specified for a husband in reciprocation of those made for a wife. I shall neither think of nor indulge in adultery.
Yata pavitra chitten pavitratyam dhritam vratam tadhev palayishyami patnya vritmahandruvam.
I shall. In domestic matters, I shall let my wife have upper hand and adopt a lifestyle becoming of an ideal householder by making a family budget in consultation with my spouse. Together, we shall consider the needs of Bhakti Marga and its relevant centers. So again, this is a very important part. This is one of the items that we inserted. As part of your marriage, you are taking a journey on your spiritual path in Bhakti Marga with Guruji as the focus. And as part of that, you have to remember that your finances and your focus is on that as well. Okay?
Grihasyartha vyavastayam mantavitva tvaya saha shanchalannam karishyami grihasto chidjivanam.
I shall. Faithfully utilize my strength and resources in making arrangements for pleasure, peace, progress, and protection of my wife.
Samridhi sukh shantinanam rakshane tadadava vyavastanam sankarishyami swashakti vibhavaditihi.
I shall. Unilaterally make every possible effort to keep my own behavior towards my wife exemplary and resolve all differences and mistakes peacefully. No arguing, no raising voices, no shaking fingers. I shall neither blame, insult, nor ignore my wife in the company of others. This is very important because they'll remember.
Yatna shilo bhavishyami sanmargha sevitam sada avayo matidhandascha doshan sanshodhayashantata.
With the presence of Guruji, the sacred fire, and all here as witness, I take pledge to be tolerant and soft-spoken with my wife. Remember that when you're hungry. Remember that when you're angry.
Devagni samanushyanam sanidhye kritanishchaya tvam pratyam bhavishyami sahishnur mritila yastahara.
Give an assurance that even in the event of my wife becoming infirm, invalid, or finding her indifferent towards her responsibilities due to some reason, I shall not deviate in the least from my own responsibilities and continue to extend my cooperation to her. Wow. It's a get out of jail free card for the ladies.
Vidyama samarthayam vimukayancha karmani vishwasam sayoganchamam prapasyami tvam sada.
Pledge to remain sweet and affectionate during conversation with my wife and in course of my behavior with her. I also promise to be strictly faithful to her and act in a way that is befitting of a devotee.
Madhura prem sanyuktam varta satya vavirthitim didham patmi nivritmekam bhachume tava sannidho.
I know. That's what Guruji just said. The I shalls are getting not quieter and quieter each after the first verse. It was I shall. And I was like, wait a second. What did they get me into? So now the male portion of the oaths are over. Actually, the male have 11 oaths and the women only have 9. We'll figure that one out.
I shall. Amalgamating my lifestyle with that of my husband, I shall create a new entity of human existence, one that we will strive to offer in service to Guruji. In this way, I shall always be living as his true better half, Ardhangini.
Swajivanam me laitva bhavata kalo jivane Bhutva Shargangini Nityam Vasishyami Grihe Sada.
I shall always consider all friends and members of my husband's family as integrated units of one system, maintain cordial relationships with all of them, serve them open-heartedly and behave with them sweetly. Together, we shall also recognize that the Sangha of Bhakti Marga is also our extended family.
Shishtata purvakam sarve paribhajane saha adharyam vidashyami vyavaharam chakomalam.
Resisting indolence, I shall perform domestic chores laboriously. In this way, I shall extend appropriate cooperation to my husband in his progress and betterment of standard of living. I shall strive to be the voice of reason that guides him closer to Guruji.
Tyaktva karishyami grikarye parishramamam purtavaharshami kasyami bhishyamyeva prashanatam.
I shall remain faithful to my husband. He be always favorable to him respectfully. Shall never be hypocritical in my behavior towards him. I shall also make it a habit to take his advice and instructions in letter and spirit promptly.
Shradhaya palayishyami dharmam pativritam param sarvadheva nukulyena patyuredhishya palika.
I shall cultivate virtues of selfless service, cleanliness, pleasantry, and sweet conversation. On the other hand, I shall carefully avoid development of vices and bad habits like jealousy, nagging, grumbling. I will do my best to exemplify the attitude of an ideal devotee of Guruji. In this way, I shall always make my presence pleasurable.
Sushrusana paraswachcha madhur priyavashinini pratijane pavishyami satatam sukadayini.
I shall manage domestic requirements by keeping the household expenditure to a minimum, making sure we can make contributions to the development of Bhakti Marga. I shall avoid extravagance. In spite of my husband becoming financially or physically weak, I shall enthusiastically continue to follow disciplines of an ideal householder.
मिताव्ययेन गर्णाधाश्चञ्चलने हि नित्यदा प्रयतिष्ये च सुच्छाहं तवे आमोकनाममि.
Regarding my husband as a devotee of God, sent as a lifelong companion, I shall overlook differences of opinion with him. And remain active throughout my life in rendering services due of me. I shall never insult or ignore my husband publicly or privately.
देवस्वरूपो नारीणां भर्तभावाति मानवः मद्वेति त्वं भजिष्यामि नित्यादिजीवनं बधिम्.
Wait, hold on. I just want to point that out again. Verse 7, regarding my husband as a representative of God. So when you guys have a fight, and say, for example, you decide to kick your husband out of the bedroom, you guys go sleep on the sofa. In the cold, no duvet, no pillow. He's a representative of God. Vital has sent him to your life. And the poor man sleeping on the floor. You have to remember this verse, okay? And there is also one very important point. Again, I just wanted to highlight, not saying it's coming from my marriage or anything like that. It's not, I swear. Just a couple of verses I just wanted to highlight. I shall manage domestic requirements by keeping the household expenditure to a minimum. Minimum means the least amount possible. Look, the guys are already saying it to their wives.
Look at this.
The bangles. Oh, it's okay. It's only for today. But minimum, okay? Minimum. There is a, just to let the ladies know, most credit cards have a balance, credit limit, minimum.
I shall always keep the Sangha contented with my services and humility, and others who are held in high esteem by my husband are dear and near to him. I shall.
Pujastava pitaro ye shradhaya paramihime sevaya toshayishyami tansada vinayenchana.
At all moments in life and under all circumstances, even on temporal estrangement, I shall continue to perform my duties towards my husband, trying my best to strengthen his relationship with Guruji without expecting anything in return.
Kadapi kwapi kimapi karishyena parangmuki pratyajnanam macha tvameva sarvameva hi.
So, I felt like the I shalls were getting louder for the women, and then the voices were dying for the men. But anyways, now we move on to the next part of the ceremony, which is the Silarohanam, which is putting your feet on this rock. So the male and the female, you can put your feet on the rock. Right, yep, right feet, both of your right feet. And this represents the stamping of the vows. The letter is sealed, the marriage is sealed, the oaths are sealed, which means there's no way out. Okay. So, we're just getting all the items ready here. And so I'll just, as we're getting all the items ready, I'll just read the significance of this. This, by placing the bride and groom's feet on this rock, it's representing the foundation, the solid foundation. After, as much as we were joking about the oaths, these oaths are very important. And they are the basis of the foundation of this relationship that will allow you to grow together. Okay?
Om arohimam shmanam mesma eva tomkam stirabhava abhitishto pridanto badasva pritanayata.
Okay. And now we move on to the next part, which is the Lajahoma and the Parikrama. So as you are going around the Parikrama, what we would like to ask each person to do is, if you have a brother-in-law or a representative, what they will do is the bride's brother. So if the wife has a bride, if the bride has a brother, very inclusive, right? We're being inclusive today. Bride has a brother, they can come up, and what they will do is they will be moving clockwise around the fire, and the first 3 rounds will be done by the groom, and then the last 4 rounds will be done by the bride. And this circumambulation, or the circling of the fire, signifies the leadership and priority of the wife in domestic family matters, in which the husband follows the wife's advice. So that's the last part. That's why she always ends. That's why she always wins the argument as well. So at the end of the 3 rounds, the males will switch, and then the grooms will switch, and then the brides will do the last round, okay? Sorry? They can start?
They'll do a full round.
Okay, so remember where you are. So when you do 1 full round, we'll stop. You will get the puff rice. They will offer it into the fire. And then we'll do another round and another round. So 4 rounds, 3 rounds for the groom, and then 4 rounds for the bride, okay? So remember, as you're doing the parikrama around the fire, this is the centerpiece of your life. This is Narayana himself, representing his mouth is open as the sacrifices are being put in, okay?
Om Tupyam Agne Pravartanta Suryam Vahatanusa Punaha Pradibhyo Jayamte Agne Prajaya Saha
Srimanarayana Sita Pate Rama Radha Pate Krishna Shri Rukmini Satyabhama Pate Vani Pate Brahma Gauri Pate Shambhu Lakshmi Pate Srimanarayana Sita Pate Rama Radha Pate Krishna Shri Rukmini Satyabhama Pate Vani Pate Brahma Gauri Pate Shambhu Lakshmi Pate Srimanarayana Sita Pate Rama Radha Pate Krishna Shri Rukmini Satyabhama Pate Vani Pate Brahma Gauri Pate Shambhu Lakshmi Pate Srimanarayana Sita Pate Rama Radha Pate Krishna Shri Rukmini Satyabhama Pate Vani Pate Brahma Gauri Pate Shambhu Lakshmi Pate Srimanarayana.
Now you offer. Remember to offer together, okay? You guys are in a marriage. Remember that. So everything is together.
Listen, when the puff rice, you hold like it's your brother, the bride brother, which is putting the puff rice. So your hand should be up, and down is the groom hand. Okay? Then you put it together into the fire.
Okay, next round.
Hare Narayana Narayana Hare Narayana
तुभ्यम् अग्ने पर्यवाहन्त सूर्यं वहतानसः पुनः प्रदीप्योदयं ते अग्ने प्रजया सह
रमना नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा नारायणा हरि नारायणा नारायणा हरि नारायणा नारायणा हरि नारायणा नारायणा हरि नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा नारायणा हरि नारायणा
तुभ्यम् अग्ने पर्यवहन्त सूर्यं वहन्तनासः पुनः प्रदीप्योदयं ते अग्ने प्रजया सह
लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा नारायणा हरि नारायणा नारायणा हरि नारायणा नारायणा हरि नारायणा नारायणा हरि नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा लक्ष्मी रमना नारायणा
Okay, so this represents the end of the first round. Now, the woman will take the lead and you will swap. And now remember, you will be doing 4 rounds, okay? So go ahead.
ॐ इह गावो निषिधन्वे च श्व इ पुरुषः निषिधन्तो इह सहस्रं दक्षिणो यज्ञ इह पोषो निषीदतु
जय श्रीमन नारायण 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 जय श्रीमन
ॐ तुभ्यम् अग्ने पर्यवहन्त सूर्यं वहन्तनासः पुनः प्रदीप्योदयं ते अग्ने प्रजया सह
जय श्रीमन नारायण जय जय जय
जय श्रीमन नारायण जय श्रीमन नारायण जय जय जय
जय श्रीमन नारायण जय श्रीमन नारायण
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 जय श्रीमन नारायण जय श्रीमन नारायण जय जय
जय श्रीमन नारायण जय श्रीमन नारायण जय
सह पुनः प्रदीप्योदयं ते अग्ने प्रजया सह
जय श्रीमन नारायण जय श्रीमन नारायण जय जय जय
ओम नमो नारायणाय
ओम नमो नारायणाय
ओम नमो नारायणाय
ओम नमो नारायणाय
नारायण लक्ष्मी नारायण
नारायण लक्ष्मी नारायण
नारायण लक्ष्मी नारायण
नारायण लक्ष्मी नारायण
जय श्रीमन नारायण जय श्रीमन नारायण
जय श्रीमन नारायण जय श्रीमन नारायण
जय श्रीमन नारायण जय श्रीमन नारायण
जय श्रीमन
तुभ्यम् अग्ने पर्यवहन्त सूर्यं वहन्तनासः पुनः प्रदीप्योदयं ते अग्ने प्रजया सह
जय श्रीमन नारायण जय
Narayana Jai Shriman Narayana Jai Jai Jai. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Om Namo Vasudevaya. Vasudeva Hare Vasudeva. Vasudeva Hare Vasudeva. Bolo Vasudeva Hare Vasudeva. Vasudeva Hare Vasudeva. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana.
Pradipyojande Agni Prajaya
Narayana. Oh Narayana Hare Narayana. Narayana Hare Narayana. Jai Shriman 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 Narayana.
Puna Pradipyojayamda Agni Prajaya Saha.
So for the next part of the marriage, this is the Satapadi, which represents the 7 steps. So as I go through each of the 7 steps, I'll explain each one, and Swami Keshava will also recite the mantras. So the first step, we'll just get all the items set up, and I'll just quickly explain as we're getting it set up. So what you will do is we'll go around, we'll say the first step, you'll put both of your right feet on the betel nut, the right toe, both of you, okay? And then I will say what it means. Swami Keshava will chant the Sanskrit mantra. And then afterwards, when I say the second step, you will move to the second stone. Okay, like this, we'll do 7 of them, okay? 7 times, all right? Okay, so Guruji said you could just stay each time, touch it 7 times. No need to move. Okay, we'll keep it a bit simple. All right. So I'll just first briefly summarize what the 7 steps mean. The first step is taken for food, the second for strength, the third for resources, the fourth for entertainment, the fifth for family, the sixth for conjugal relationship, and the 7th for friendship. Okay? And as your marriage life starts, this basically involves the 7 fields of activity, and hence why we have Satapadi, the 7 steps. So the first step, so if you can place your right toe, which I think all of you have already, represents food, and food must be health promoting. Overindulgence in savoriness and gluttony should find no place in the household kitchen. Nutritional value should be given preference over taste. Okay? So that means, guys, if you got a nice meal, or ladies, if you got a nice meal from your husband and it didn't taste so good, all you have to say is nutritional value. And everything is forgiven, okay? Nutritional value. So an ideal family person is one who knows how to make contribution to the better production, preservation, and utilization of food material. So with that, we'll get the first mantra.
Om Eko Vishnu Jagat Sarvam Vyaptam Ye Characharam Ridhaye Yastato Yasya Tasya Sakshi Pradheyatam Om Ish Ekpade Bhavasa Manuvat Vrita Bhava Vishnustam Nayato Putran Vinda Avahe Buhunste Santo Jaradashtayaha.
Okay, so you can take your feet off, and then we'll put it back on for the second step. And the second step represents strength, exercise, hard work, proper food, and regular food habits preserve health. Study, discussions, and contemplation increase the intellectual efficacy. So there's lots and lots that you can pick up from the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, knowledge lectures, Guruji, satsang. So that You guys will have a life together of knowledge. The couple should be ever vigilant towards these aspects and keep on looking for ways and means for becoming more effective, healthy, and strong.
Om Jivatma Paramatma cha Prithvi Akashamev cha Surya Chandra Dvayor Madhye Tasya Sakshi Pradheyatam Om Urye Dvipadi Bhava Sam Anuvavrita Bhava Vishnut Swayanta Yutu Putran Vinda Avahe Pahunstva Santo Charadastaya.
Okay, so the third step, so take your feet off and then put it back on, represents effective financial management of household affairs, necessitated proper budgeting. Not a penny should be wasted in unproductive ventures. However, let one not be a miser or stingy, where expenditure is justified. Instead of wasting money in exhibitionism, addictions, and projection of self-image, money should be saved for upliftment of living standard of the family.
Om Trigunascha Tridevascha Trishakti Saptarayanaha Lokatraya Trisandhyaya Tasya Sakshi Pradeyatam Om Rayasposhahe Tribhari Bhavasya Manuvavrita Bhava Vishnustva Nayato Putran Vinda Avehe Bahunste Shanto Jaradastaya.
Okay, the fourth step. Such an environment of relaxation, entertainment, amusement, pastime, and interaction of humor is required to be created, that even with the minimal means of comfort and resource, one budgets the content and pleasures of the rich. Okay, so you don't need to spend money to be happy. You have each other. And the minimum spend.
Om Chatur Mukastado Brahma Chatvaro Ved Sambhava Chatur Yoga Pravartante Tesham Sakshi Pradeyatam Om Mayo Bhave Chatushpati Bhavasa Manuvavrata Bhava Vishnustvanayantu Putran Vinda Avahe Bahunste Shantu Jarastayaha.
The fifth step represents interpersonal and social interaction. Norms of etiquette should be lost sight of in dealing with younger and older persons. Dependent animals and attendants should also be treated as members of family. There should not be any carelessness in being ever watchful and active in taking appropriate care of dependents and making arrangement for them.
Om Panchame Panchabhutanam Panchaprane Parayanaha Tatra Dharsham Punyananam Sakshina Pranpanchada Om Prachabhya Pancha Bharibhavasa Manuvavrata Bhava Vishnut Swayanta Yutu Putran Vinda Avahe Bunste Santu Charadayastayaha.
Okay, the sixth step is about the sexual relationship. Right. So in this, we talk about reproduction. Reproduction is a need of nature. Being a natural instinct, sex plays an important role in married life. Nevertheless, in this context, self-restraint should be observed with maximum strictness and vigilance, since any deviation from this can damage the health of the couple.
Om Shaste Shastritunam Cha Samuka Swami Kartika Shastasha Yatra Jayante Kartikeyascha Sakshina Om Ritubhya Shaptari Bhavasha Manuvavrita Bhava Vishnutswana Yadu Putran Vinda Avahe Bahunste Shantu Jaradastaya.
And the final step, the seventh step, is conjugal relationship. The seventh commitment of the couple is towards maintenance of this conjugal friendship and strengthening it progressively. Let either amongst the couple introspect minutely whether any such mistake is being repeatedly committed, which is likely to create a situation of estrangement or alienation or discontentment of the spouse. So that means if it's the same thing that you guys are arguing about, maybe there's something there to contemplate on, okay? And then, on the contrary, a gentle, tolerant, affectionate reciprocity makes the person pensive and may motivate repentance, inducing the latter to take the steps of penance, retribution, or reformation. So in this point, I think it's something that Guruji alluded to, I think it was on day 6, when he was talking about when a couple is having an argument, maybe what's the best thing to do is instead of getting angry at the person, you just say, honey, I won't do it again, right? And you smile at her instead of getting angry, and this will force the other person into the state of introspection. That's what we're talking about here.
Om Saptame Sagarashaiva Saptaitva Bhasapavataha Kesham Saptarshi Patninam Teshamadharsha Sakshina Om Sake Saptabhadi Bhavasa Manuvavrata Bhava Vishnustvandayato Putran Vinda Avahe Bahunste Santu Charadayastayaha.
Okay, so this completes the 7 steps. And now we'll ask for the Mangala Sutras to be given to each of the couples. And then we will do the tying of the Mangala Sutras. Guruji will bless each one. And then hopefully we can do some South Indian style kirtan, singing, you know, boom, 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 boom. We want to hear it. So actually in South Indian's tradition, what happens is everyone gets up for this because it's a very important part of the marriage. And as they sing, the tying of the Mangala Sutra represents the final part of the marriage, which is like you do in Western marriages where you're exchanging the ring. The Mangala Sutra represents a completion of the marriage. And this is the identification of a married couple. So the wife wears it every day. She wears it everywhere as a symbolic gesture that she is married. Okay?
Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Nitya Kalyana Nukum Neela Mega Vanna Nukum Nitya Kalyana Nukum Neela Mega Vanna Nukum
So the grooms lift up the Mangala Sutra.
Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam.
Lift it up. Show it to the crowd and everybody send your blessings to them. Everybody send your blessings to them for a long, prosperous marriage. One that will hopefully get them all to Vaikuntha one day.
Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam
Vaidhasya Yashodasya Dirgoyaduttvaya Jaradastirasmi Yadam Chachiva Masharadha Puruchi Saraya Stosham Avisham Vyavyastiche
Sita Bhavatu Shri Vasudevanukum Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Koshalya Bhalanukum Gopiya Leelanukum Koshalya Bhalanukum Gopiya Leelanukum Devamagasilanukum Devanukulanukum Devamagasilanukum Devanukulanukum Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Keshava Ramanukum Gotanda Ramanukum Keshava Ramanukum Gotanda Ramanukum Tasamuru Kesanukum Janakiyo Losanukum Tasamuru Kesanukum Janakiyo Losanukum Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam 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 Jaya.
Okay, so the next part of the ceremony is the application of the sindoor. on the parting of the bride's hair. This application puts a stamp by the groom on his pledges, which now identifies him in society as a husband and benefactor of his wife, and prays to the Almighty to give him sufficient strength and motivation for elevating her qualifications and status. The wife always wears this mark on the parting of her hair on her head as a proud insignia of a worthy husband. So this will happen 5 times, okay? So you'll put it 4 times very quickly on the parting of her hair, which represents a long and blessed marriage life. And then the 5th time, you can press a little bit harder, stamping your marriage.
Sumangaleriyam vadu imagum sameta pashyata shobhaghayam ashe dattva yadastam viparetana shubhagashti savitri asto shubhagyam bhavatu.
So once this part is complete, we then ask the females or the brides, as the inclusiveness that we're bringing today, to apply the tilak on the groom. Okay, so this is also a stamping of the female onto the groom's forehead, representing that she is too honoring him and pledging him to increase his status and honor in society.
Om swastaye vayumupam soma swasti bhavanasya somam swasti bhuvanasya yaspatihi priyaspatim sarvaghanam swastaye twastaye adityaso bhavantu naha.
So as we prepare for the next part of the ceremony, as many of you have known, this Navaratri Guruji has been materializing rings. I just got told that he has now materialized rings for all the couples. So that is not an excuse to get married next year for those who want rings. Okay. Because I know some of you really want rings. I know that. This is not a reason, okay, to get a ring. So while they're getting their rings, maybe we'll have a little kirtan.
Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Suva Mangala Seluga Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Suva Mangala Seluga Oh Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Suva Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Suva Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Sabha Mangalam Selunga Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Sabha Mangalam Selunga Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Sabha Mangalam Venuga Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Sabha Mangalam Venuga Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subha Mangalam Mangalam Subhamangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subhamangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subhamangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subhamangalam Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subhamangalam Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subhamangalam Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subhamangalam Nitya Kalyana Lukum Nila Mega Vanna Lukum Nitya Kalyana Lukum Nila Mega Vanna Lukum Bakarida Tirtha Lukum Parama Purushota Lukum Bakarida Tirtha Lukum Parama Purushota Lukum Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subhamangalam Mangalam Mangalam Jaya Mangalam Subhamangalam Mangalam Mangalam
Okay.
Mangalam Subhamangalam.
So, for the last part of the blessing, as you've already taken, bow at Guruji's feet, surrendering your marriage to him, remembering he is the focus of your marriage. Before we conclude, there's a few more steps that we'd like to do to complete the marriage. We'd like to ask happily married women to come up as a final blessing for the brides today, and to spread their blessing to them. There is an application of sindoor on the bride, and then the bride in return, as appreciation for that, will apply sindoor to the married woman. And as you're doing that, you can just chant the mantra, Akhanda Saubhagyavati Bhava. Okay? Akhanda Saubhagya Vati Bhava. Looks like, do we have 7? Do we have 12? I think there's 12 couples.
There's no more happy married women for the longevity of your husband. Happy life. No? Okay. Maybe some unhappy also can come.
Now everybody don't run to the front, please. I think we have enough. Oh.
Jai Jai Ambe Meya, Jai Jai Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya, Jai Jai Meya Ambe Meya, Jai Jai Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya, Oh Jai Jai Meya Ambe Meya, Jai Jai Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya, Jai Jai Meya Ambe Meya, Jai Jai Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya, Oh Sheravali Jantavali Oma, Sheravali Oma, Jantavali Oma, Sheravali Oma, Jantavali Oma, Sheravali Oma, Jantavali Oma, Sheravali Oma, Jantavali Oma, Sheravali Jantavali Jai Jai Ho Meya Ambe Meya, Jai Jai Ho Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya, Jai Jai Ho Meya Ambe Meya, Jai Jai Ho Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya, Jai Jai Ho Meya Ambe Meya, Jai Jai Ho Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya, Jai Jai Ho Meya Ambe Meya, Jai Jai Ho Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya, Jai Jai Ma Durga Ma. Meya Jagadambe Meya Jai Jai Ho Meya Ambe Meya Jai Jai Ho Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya Jai Jai Ho Meya Ambe Meya Jai Jai Ho Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya Jai Jai Ho Meya Ambe Meya Jai Jai Ho Meya Meya Jagadambe Meya Tu hi Durga Tu hi Kali Tu Bhavani Mata Rani ho Tu hi Durga Tu hi Kali Tu Bhavani Mata Rani Tu hi Durga Tu hi Kali Tu Bhavani Mata Rani Tu hi Durga Tu hi Kali Tu Bhavani Mata Rani Oh Tu hi Durga Tu hi Kali Tu hi Ambe Mata Rani Ambe Maya Jai Jai Bhavani Maya Jai Jai Ho Maya Ambe Maya Jai Jai Ho Maya Maya Jagadambe Maya Jai Jai Ho Maya Ambe Maya Jai Jai Ho Maya Maya Jagadambe Maya Sheravali Hama Jotavali Hama Sheravali Hama Jotavali Hama Jai Jai Ma Durga Ma Jai Jai Ma Ambe Ma Jai Jai Ma Durga Ma Jai Jai Ma Ambe Ma
So, wow, we had a lot of people come up when Guruji said unhappy married couples can also come. So now we have a crowd at the front. But I will say at the very beginning, when Guruji called the happily married couples, Stefano just came by and said, I am so happy Sati just came. So Stefano, you're doing good. So if you ever wanted to gauge where your marriage is at, if your wife is here, you're doing good. All right. She's not, I don't know. Maybe you have to look at the oaths again. I don't know. So after the blessings are complete, so we'd like to ask everyone to maybe round up now. So thank you for everyone who came and applied the sindoor. We'll now ask for the final part, which is the Mangalakshatam, which is mantras and the sprinkling of rice and flowers onto the couple and the blessings that the family of the couples and those devotees that are here to be spread onto them so that they can carry it forward in their marriage life for a happy, prosperous, and fruitful spiritual life also. So for those, just, Myron, can you just maybe anybody who sees flowers in front of them, they can just grab a few flowers. Don't be shy. Please grab all the flowers. If you have rice for the couples, you can come in the front and you can offer your flowers on them too.
Om Shrimad Pankaj Vistaro Hariharo Vayo Mahendro Nalak Chandra Bhaskara Vitabara Varna Pretabhya Tyagraha Pratyumno Narakubharo Sugaja Sintamani Gosva Swam Shakti Rarascha Lingaladaro Kurvanto Mangalam Gauri Shikula Devada Shakshu Bhaga Bhumi Brahmana Shubha Savitri Cha Saraswati Cha Subharis Satyavrati Rundadi Saha Jambavati Cha Rukmini Bhagini Dashva Bhattavamshini Vela Chambo Nide Shamina Makara Kurvanto Mangala Ganga Sindhur Saraswati Jayamuna Godavari Narmada Kaveri Sariyo Mahendra Tanaya Charvamvade Vedika Shivhaira Vitra Vati Mahasturandhe Kayata Chal Gandhake Ona Punya Jele Sumatra Sahita Kurvanto Mangala Lakshmi Kaustubha Karijataka Sura Janvadhari Chandrama Deno Kamadhukha Sureshwara Gajas Rambacha Devangana Asha Sapra Mukho Visham Haridhanu Shanko Vritam Shambhude Ratani Te Charo Bhasha Prati Dhinam Kurvanto Mangalam Brahma Veda Vati Deva Ashuvati Surya Graham Pati Shakro Deva Pati Avir Hudam पति संगच्छ सेनापति विष्णु यज्ञपति यामो मित्रपति शक्ति भानिपति सर्वे ते खादय सुमेरा जाति कुर्वन्तु वो मंगलम गंगा गोमति गोमति गणपति गोविंद गोवर्धनो गीता गोमय गौरी गिरी सोत गंगा धर गौतमः गायत्री गरुदा गदाधरा गायो गंभीर गोदावरी गंधर्व ग्रह गोप गोकुल गंध कुर्वन्तु वो मंगलम नेत्रानं चेतमनं शिवं ज्योतिरस अग्नि श्रेयं भावनः पुण्यं विष्णुपादं तायनं श्रीवामनं कायते च रामाश्रयं गंगावः मातात्रयं श्रीवामनं देवात्रयं ब्रह्मणा सुन्दायमे चित्तयं देव्यस्ति विदुर्वन्तो वो मंगलम् वाल्मीकि संनका संतानन तारो व्यासचा वशिष्ठो भृगः जाबली जामाते कष्टो जानको गर्गा निर्का गातमयः मन्दता भरतो निपश्च सागरो धन्यो नीलपिनिलः पुण्यो धर्मो सूक्ता जायतो नयश्चो कुर्वन्तो वो मंगलम्
जय जय मां दुर्गा मां जय जय मां अम्बे मां
मंगलम ध्वजा मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलायतनो हरि
ओम स्वस्ति स्वस्ति स्वस्ति
मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगलम 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 नित्य कल्याण लुकुम नील मेघ वर्ण लुकुम नित्य कल्याण लुकुम नील मेघ वर्ण लुकुम बकिरुज तीर्थ लुकुम परम पुरुषोत्त लुकुम बकिरुज तीर्थ लुकुम परम पुरुषोत्त लुकुम मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगलम 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 मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगलम 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 जय मंगलम शुभ मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगल से दूंगा मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगल से दूंगा मंगलम शुभ मंगल में दूंगा मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगल में दूंगा मंगलम जय मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगल से दूंगा मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगल से दूंगा मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगल में दूंगा मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ मंगल में दूंगा मंगलम जय मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम जय मंगलम शुभ 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 मंगलम मंगलम जय मंगलम
अतो देवा अवन्तु नो यतो विष्णुर्विचक्रमे पृथिव्या सप्तधामपि स्वाहा इदं विष्णुर्विचक्रमे त्रेतानि ददे वरं समुदमस्य भागुं सुरे स्वाहा तेनि पदा विचक्रमे विष्णुर्गोपाताभ्यः अतो धर्माणि धार्यन्ने विष्णुकर्माणि पश्यतयतो मृगानि वत्पसे इन्द्रस्य युजस्य गा स्वाहा तद्विष्णो परमां परगुं सरावशन्ति सूरयः दिवेव चक्षुरा ततं स्वाहा तद्विप्रासो विपन्यभो जागृवागुं ससमिन्दते विष्णोर्यत् परमां पदं स्वाहा पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते मुच्यते पुनश्च पुनमादाय पुनमेवावशिष्यते
देवी माँ काली माँ लक्ष्मी माँ देवी माँ
ॐ सर्ववे पुनगं स्वाहा ॐ सर्ववे पुनगं स्वाहा ॐ सर्ववे पुनगं स्वाहा
देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी 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 देवी माँ लक्ष्मी माँ शक्ति माँ देवी माँ
कामधेनु समुत्पादं सर्वसन्तोषकारकं पायसकं प्रतिष्ठामि
काली माँ शक्ति माँ देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी शक्ति भवानी देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी दुख संकट सब दूर करत माँ 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 जय 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 महारानी 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 माँ देवी माँ गौरी माँ शक्ति भवानी 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 देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति माँ देवी माँ देवी माँ काली माँ
श्री महागौरी
देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी 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 दुष्टलन को नाश करत तुम दुष्टलन को नाश करत तू दुष्टलन को नाश करत तू दुष्टलन को नाश करत तू जय 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 महारानी माँ जय 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 महारानी माँ जय 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 महारानी
प्रतिक्रियताम् ॐ श्री महागौरी नमः धूपं धूपयामि
देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति माँ देवी माँ
रुद्रामस्य सहि बन्धुरिदाः विष्णोपदे कर्ममत्सोत्सः ॐ श्री महागौरी नमः नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि
देवी माँ देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी
महागौरी नमः पानीयं
भक्त जनन को लदला को तू भक्त जनन को लाला को तू भक्त जनन को लदला को तू भक्त जनन को लाला को तू जय 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 महारानी माँ 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 देवी माँ काली माँ शक्ति भवानी देवी माँ काली माँ
राजागिराधर्मसारिणो वयं वैष्णवनाय कुर्मे स्वामी काम काम कामाभ्यं कामेश्वरो वैष्णवनाथोतिराय वैष्णवनाय महाराजाय नमः कर्पूरगौरं पूर्णावतारं संसारसारं मृगेन्द्रं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्देवं भवानी साहित्यं नमामि मां भवानी साहित्यं नमामि काचायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारी देवतनो दुर्गे प्रचोदयात् महादेवी च विद्महे तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात् ॐ वाग्देवी च विरुच्चे पत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो वाणी प्रचोदयात् ॐ दुर्गाय नमः महा गौरी नमः कर्पूरनीराजनं समर्पयामि पुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि
Sabadura Karatama, Durga Sankata Sabadura Karatama, Jai 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 Maharani Ma, 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 Devi Ma Kali Ma Shakti Bhavani, Devi Ma Kali Ma Shakti Bhavani, Devi Ma Kali Ma Shakti Bhavani, Devi Ma Kali Ma all together. Devi Ma, Kali Ma, Shakti Ma, Devi Ma, Devi Ma, Devi Ma, Devi Ma, Kali Ma, Kali Ma, Shakti Ma, Devi Ma, Devi Ma, Devi Ma, Devi Ma. Jai 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 Maharani Ma, 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 Devi Ma Kali Ma Shakti Bhavani, 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 Devi Ma Kali Ma. Devi Ma, Devi Ma, Kali Ma, Shakti Ma, Devi Ma, Devi Ma, Kali Ma, Shakti Bhavani, Devi Ma, Kali Ma, Shakti Bhavani, Devi Ma, Kali Ma, Shakti Bhavani, Devi Ma, Kali Ma, Shakti Bhavani. Lakshmi Ma, Bhakta Janana ke lajna ko tu, Bhakta Janana ke lajna ko tu, Bhakta Janana ke lajna ko tu, Bhakta Janana ke lajna ko tu. Jai 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 Maharani Ma, Jai 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 Maharani Ma, Jai 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 Maharani Ma, Jai 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 Maharani Ma. Devi Ma Kali Ma Shakti Bhavani, 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 Bolo Devi Ma Kali Ma Shakti Bhavani, Devi Ma Kali Ma Shakti Bhavani, O Devi Ma Kali Ma Shakti Bhavani, Devi Ma Kali Ma Shakti Bhavani, Devi Ma Kali Ma Devi Kali Sakti Devi Ma Kali Ma Sakti Ma Devi Ma Devi Ma Devi Ma Kali Ma Kali Ma Sakti Ma Devi Ma Devi Ma Kali Ma Sakti Bhavani 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 Satgurudeva Shri Swami Vishwananda Mahaprabhu Ki Jai.
Om Namo Narayanaya, 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 Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya, 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 Om Namo Narayanaya. Paramahamsa Shri Swami Vishwananda, 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 Sadguru Deva 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 Shri Swami Vishwananda. Om Namo Narayanaya, 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 Paramahamsa Shri Swami Vishwananda, Paramahamsa Shri Swami Vishwananda,
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 Sadguru Deva Shri Swami Vishwananda, Sadguru Deva Shri Swami Vishwananda,
Sadguru Deva Shri Swami Vishwananda, Sadguru Deva Shri Swami Vishwananda.
Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayana.